Two special seasons for two very special players. Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado. Last night, Cargo joined the 40 home run club. Nolan, a few days ago, went 40 and 41. And those two guys have a very friendly competition as the Rockies head for the home stretch. Tonight, game 2 of a 3-game series here in Phoenix at Chase Field against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Charlie Blackmon, he of the .291 average, 17 home runs, 42 stolen bases. That's third most in Major League Baseball. He'll lead things off tonight. Here's Walt's starting 9, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Jose Reyes again in that 2 spot. Jose last night had 3 hits. Cargo hit the 40th last night. Also drove in a run with a base hit in the first. He's sitting on 96 ribbies. Then Nolan Arenado, Corey Dickerson, Justin Morneau finishing strong. DJ LeMahieu, one of the top hitters in baseball. Dustin Garneau and Chad Bettis. Chase Anderson will make his 27th start. The 26th has already set a personal high for the former Oklahoma Sooner.
And he pitched very well. 147 in a third innings. He's only walked 37. He struck out 107. One of 42 University of Oklahoma pitchers to appear in a Major League Baseball game.
And you are one of them also.
I am one of those guys.
Did you guys go do the secret handshake earlier?
No, there's no secret handshake.
Here's the 0-1 on Charlie, and that is a really good and well-placed slider.
First 3 starts against the Rockies. Chase was 3-0 with a 150. His last 5, he struggled. 0-3 and 865 earned run average.
So Anderson waiting on Blackmon, and it's a 2-strike count. You want a fastball up, and it was certainly up.
Why?
I know you don't like that.
I don't like it.
Well, I'm not big on it either. If you're going to miss by 3 feet, what's the purpose?
Yeah, spin it in the dirt. Do something different other than that. Let's get a hard sinker there.
And that would be a good 0-2 pitch right there also.
Now you flipped it back to a hitter's count almost at 2-2.
Yeah. To not entice the hitter whatsoever,
no.
It makes very little sense. 2-2. And this ball is in the air to center. Pollock is calling off everybody. He'll make the catch, 1 out. Arizona last night, uncharacteristically, committed a couple of errors. They've been very sound defensively this year. Peralta, Pollock, and Socrates Brito in right field. The late scratch, Ender Inciarte. He has a sore shin. He fouled the pitch off his shin the other day. Lamb, Owings, Goslin at second tonight. Paul Goldschmidt, of course, at first. And Jared Saltalamacchia is behind home plate. Here's Reyes stepping in with 1 out, and he shortened up and gave the impression he was going to bunt. Sometimes that's what he was on his mind. George, sometimes, as you know, he's doing that to really pull in the third baseman, open up that hole on the left side.
Try to slap it by him at times.
That was a good night for Jose last night.
Yeah, it was. He came up with some big base hits last night. He hit the ball all over the ballpark, to the right side, to the left side, and what I thought really good, where the pitch was thrown, that's where he came up and made the contact, and it ended up in very good results for him. 44 ball games with the Rockies, 175 at bats. He's hit .263, 7 doubles, 2 triples, 17 RBIs.
Here's a 2-1, and Reyes did try to bunt at that. 2-2. You can see with that 2-seamer, Anderson gets a lot of movement.
Well, he puts the thumb up on the side of the baseball an awful lot, which creates the clearance of the thumb. Allows the ball come out in a heavier spin.
That looked like a 4-seamer, didn't it?
That felt really good.
Was that the daily double?
Daily, a triple, trifecta. Hits the bat, hits the catcher, hits the umpire.
Ooh, that came up under the neck of Dan Isanya. He evidently is okay.
And a lot of those umpires, see that Steve Yeager throat protector a lot of guys wear.
Well, a lot of downward movement on that changeup, and a strikeout of Jose Reyes.
Last start, he struck out 10 at a start against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Gave up 1 hit, a run. In that ball game, it was a home run.
So here comes Cargo. He was number 40 last night in his second at bat.
Big flat slider got under it. It carried and carried and carried it and out of the reach of Inciarte, and Cargo had number 40.
Cargo's probably got some payback on his mind, George. He's faced Anderson 11 times. He's 0 for 11, and he has struck out 6 times. Here's the 0-1. And that's a ground ball that's going to sneak through. See, told you it's time to turn those numbers around.
Good hitters eventually will come up with a base hit. And you see defensively how they have this set up, thinking he's going to be a dead pull. Get to it on this side. He just split the wickets out into the outfield.
So that will allow Nolan to come up here in the first. Nolan is 4 for 17. You say, well, kind of modest numbers against Anderson, but 3 of the 4 hits over the wall.
You see those numbers, what they're trying to do. Heavy, hard sinker, first pitch in.
And that's at the knees for a strike. Arenado turns back at Iasanya and says, that's low. It's close.
It's almost like you hurt their feelings if you even ask. I mean, I understand why Nolan thought that was low. Now they want to come back inside.
And that's a good looking pitch.
That is a good pitch.
Nolan Arenado with 127 RBIs. The last time a National League player had more RBIs in a season, you have to go back to 2009. Prince Fielder 141 with Milwaukee. Ryan Howard 141 with Philly. Albert Pujols with the Cards 135. And this ball is lifted to deep left field. Way back. Get up, get out. Not going to happen. At the very top of the wall, David Peralta makes the catch. And the bid for a 2-run home run for Nolan Arenado falls literally just a couple of feet short.
Just short.
For the Rockies, and again, Ender Inciarte was a late scratch. He was leading off, and Socrates Brito has taken his place.
Pinch hit last night, got a base hit, scored a couple of runs, hadn't got many at bats. Just 13 in this young career of Brito. He's 5 for 13 though with a double.
And that double came last night. Slapped it down the third base line. Runs pretty well. Big strong kid. That fastball at 93 outside. So it's 1 ball 1 strike. 20th start for Chet.
Trying to win number 9 on his last start of the 2015 season. It's been a productive season for Chad.
Downward movement on that fastball, and it's 1-2. Weak ground ball to third. Arenado hits Brito by a step. There's the Southwest batting order tonight for Chip Hale. And coming up will be Phil Gosselin. He had the game-winning hit in the 11th last night. Kind of punched a single through the right side. A.J. Pollock will bat third. Paul Goldschmidt fourth. David Peralta fifth. And the veteran Jared Saltalamacchia, Jake Lamb. Chris Owings will bat eighth once again. And that pitch misses, ball 1 to Phil Gosselin. First career walk-off hit for Gosselin yesterday. This guy broke his left thumb in May and was out for basically 3.5 months. Another guy that was part of that Bronson Arroyo trade. Reyes fires it across, couple ground balls, and now A.J. Pollock will take his turn. Pollock 1 for 3 and a couple of walks yesterday.
Great year for him. 37 stolen bases, 19 home runs, 75 RBIs, an all-star.
There's a strike. You know, most of the year Pollock was not hitting third. Goldschmidt was. Just the 11th game Pollock is in the 3-hole. There's a strike. 257 there. Goldschmidt, just the 8th game he's hit cleanup. Doesn't matter where he hits. It's about 321 in the cleanup spots.
Pretty productive.
Yes. 0-2, and there's a slider that's off the plate. 1-2. One, two, and that fastball's in.
What's interesting is Paul Goldschmidt's in the on-deck circle warming up. Now, he's got his foot against the back screen. If you watch him hit, he's extremely short and quick to the baseball. So by standing that close to the screen, he can't cast his bat out, or that's when he's going to catch the back screen. 1-2-3 inning for Chad Bettis.
Really fine inning. 3 miss-hit ground balls. Got to like it. No score as we go to the second. Toyota stores, Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Welcome back to Chase Field as we go to the second. Here's who brought out the lineup card today. When we talked about Daniel Descalso being a good luck charm, there's Brandon Barnes. He's nursing that sore hamstring and making nice with everybody. This is not the first time. Spilly did a little homework. Barnes, he's brought the lineup out for age 8 times, today being the 9th. The Rockies are 7-1 when he delivers the lineup.
Okay,
card.
so why hadn't he been bringing it out a lot?
You got to pick your spots.
Is that how that works? Okay. It's crazy how superstitious a lot of guys are at the big league level. Managers and coaches, no different.
Dickerson swings at the first pitch, and Peralta makes the catch in left, 1 out. And that'll bring up Justin Morneau. Rockies had 9 hits last night in losing in 11. Bullpen did a good job last night, and a solid job by Christian Bergman.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he did everything he could do. Came in a tough situation, nobody out, got a ground ball to third, and then a squeaker through the right side of the infield. But
tough night for Brooks Brown.
It was normally a guy that throws a lot of strikes. The bullpen in the last 24 ball games have been pretty good. 386 earned run average. The opposition 256. Part of that is the success rate. Of what Justin Miller's been able to do in this ball game. He's been outstanding. Oldberg's gotten his act together, throwing the ball much better. Rex Brothers got a big out in that ball game for the Rockies, and then Diaz struck out a couple of guys. That bat's going to be chop wood. And so last night, yeah, the bullpen was really good last night. Just unfortunate the 3 walks got loaded up before they get somebody loose to change things around.
One and 2 on Justin. See, that's a better fastball up. Saltalamacchia went into his best Yogi Berra.
Somewhat of the somewhere near the hitting zone.
Yeah.
Just put it up above the hands. They're going to try to think about it again. Of course, the hard part about that, you get a foul tip when you're upright like that as a catcher. It's not going to be fun.
Well, you've
really
limited
exposed
your
body.
Yeah.
Yep, you really expose the body.
This ball's well hit right center field, and it is trapped against the bottom of the wall. And look who's heading to third again. Mr. Triple. Stand-up triple. He's something else of late.
Well, you're going to hear it again tomorrow. Man, oh man. One of the deepest parts of the ballpark. And Justin Morneau's won a batting title more than once, and he knows how to keep the hands back. That's exactly what he did. He waited on this breaking ball, and it just stuck to the bottom. They waited on it to come off. He got to second base. He goes, hey, this is going to be the easiest triple I've ever had.
So now with 1 out, DJ LeMahieu will try to get him home. Rockies had a couple opportunities with less than 2 outs with runners at third and failed to do so last night. And DJ upset with himself he didn't get a squeeze bunt down.
See what they're going to do here. They were back, now they're in.
Your by the way is that is the 3rd triple of the year for Justin, 22nd of his fine career. 1-0 outside again.
Last 7 against Arizona, DJ LeMahieu 4.48 average. How about that?
That's good.
You think?
Yeah, I think that's good. First 2 fastballs nowhere close. Looks like they want a change up here. And that's outside. 3-0. Dustin Garneau is on deck.
Well, it's basically they know the numbers. We'll have to see what they try to do with DJ here, and then let the youngster come up, see if he can handle a hard sinker and try to flip a double play. Be really surprised if they give DJ anything to hit.
On the outside corner, it's 3-1. Roof is open again, despite the fact that it's 105 outside.
It's 113 on the way to the park today.
Well, the car was sitting in the sun for a second.
I don't care.
Cooled off. By the time we got here, Georgia, it was only 108 on the
Oh, okay.
And this should get the job done. Center field. Now Pollock coming in. And here comes Morneau. And the throw is airmail. So DJ gets the run home. And the Rockies lead it 1-0. You can hear everybody busting chops on Justin Morneau. Somebody yelled, "Hey, Speedy."
Having a great time with that. Was 60 RBIs for DJ LeMahieu, too. Another milestone that gets hit.
Yeah, that's a big number. Spilly, was that you yelling Speedy?
You know what? Walt Weiss just told Justin as he came down the stairs, he's like, "Speed doesn't take a day off. That a baby." Gotta love it.
Did you get a high five at least that time, Spilly?
No, I'm hiding by this camera well thing.
You're in the
here.
bunker.
Yeah, I'm in the bunker.
Dustin Garneau with a 1-0 count. Rockies. Jerry Weinstein was in attendance tonight. He's over at Instructional League catching guru, and Jerry was raving about one of his pupils, Dustin Garneau. Really proud of how he's moved through the ranks for a guy that was not a high draft pick.
Yeah, fourth-year senior signed too. I mean, that's one of those guys. Hey, let's give him a chance to come out and play, and he's worked himself to the big leagues. And there's a lot of players like Dustin. If you just give them the opportunity and chance and believe and trust, you know, that they're not a top 10 round pick or a top 8 round pick, and you know, just let them kind of plug along and try to do as much time spent with a guy like Dustin as you do with that number one. You might be surprised what you get sometime.
Garneau hits this ball to deep left center field, and Peralta stride shy of the track will make the catch. Justin Morneau with a triple, and DJ LeMahieu brought him home. 1-0 Rockies.
Rockies are using their 2015 Instructional League. Guys like Brendan Rodgers, guys like Mike Nicorak, Tyler Nevin, a bunch of former first-rounders, foreigners from Dominican, Ramel Tapia, Forrest Wall, Jesus Tinoco. They're all in instructs being under the careful watch. So I asked farm director Zach Wilson why this is so important.
To have to arrive here at 6:30 in the morning, to have to go through a plethora of activities even before you step out on the field, and then really grind away in pretty intense heat throughout the day here is going to just prepare them further and increase their process and their learning process about what it means to be a baseball player at this level and eventually be a baseball player at the major league level.
Well, there's 45 different players from the Rockies organization, and as I mentioned, first rounders down to a 19th rounder and former guys from Dominican Republic to Venezuela, all trying to get their work in, all trying to make a good impression for the Rockies front office.
Yeah, Spilly, it's a special time in the development of a young player. You went through it, Fraze, you went through it.
I only got to go one time to Instruction League, and I was there for a week.
They kicked you out?
No, they sent me to the Dominican Republic. I was 22 years old. They said, go be a man. That was nuts.
One out as Goldschmidt hits the ground ball on the breaking pitch to LeMahieu, and that'll bring up David Peralta. And he hits the fastball straight away and well. And it is off the wall. Blackman will throw it back in. Peralta with the first hit for the Diamondbacks. It's a one-out double in the second.
Well, what a find for this organization in independent league baseball. Bill Brick and Chris Cavanici, two guys that work in their organization, and all they do is scout independent leagues.
That'll bring up Jared Saltalamacchia. Has now bounced around with a number of teams in his career. Switch hitting catcher, big man. He's got a lot of power. Doesn't necessarily hit for average.
You know, Saltalamacchia's bat has gone backwards. He's 8 for 50 this year with runners in scoring position, an average of 160. Still that threat to hit the ball out of the ballpark. For 10 years at the big league level.
Bettis elevates the fastball, and it's fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike, and this is where Chad has been really good, and all the good ones are stronger out of the stretch, stronger when there's traffic. Let's talk about that phrase, limiting damage. Garneau wants it down. Boy, that was well executed.
Well, a lot of guys gear up for the fastball, particularly guys that aren't playing every day. That's when you can utilize the breaking ball. Spin it, put it in a good location.
One, two, and where's that? Where is that? Changeup looked like it was there. Well, guess it was off the plate.
It's the angle of the camera, Drew.
It must be, because that looked really good.
Yeah, it looked really good. Received really well. But you could see Dan take his head, point to the outside corner when he called it a ball. A lot of good umpires do that. That hurt.
Yeah, and DJ avoids the bat and catches the baseball, which is the right way to do it. You don't want to catch the bat and have the baseball.
Really? I thought you tried to do both. You catch the bat and the ball, and you get extra points, no? That's not how it works?
You'd have to show me the rule.
That's not how it works.
No. 2 outs, and the Rockies defenders look like this: Dickerson, Blackman, Gonzalez, Arenado, Reyes, LeMahieu, Morneau, and Dustin Garneau. Nobody's fielded more chances at third. Nobody close in baseball than Nolan Arenado, and DJ way up the charts at second in terms of opportunities. Jake Lamb with 2 outs. And that's at the knees for a strike. Rockies fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts or photos or both. Use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and include the hashtag Toyota Talk to get involved.
youngster having trouble with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. Lamb's just hit 154 this year.
A hard slider, and that's inside. 1-1. Good pitch. Guess who's in? 2-1. 26-year-old Chad Bettis out of Lubbock, Texas. Change up. Stuff looks good. Command looks good so far, Frage.
Everything's working, all 4. That can make it a really, really fun night. Unless you're on the other end of things, and it's not much fun.
Rockies up 1-0, 2 outs. Peralta at second, and it's a 2-2 count on Jake Lamb. Outside. Well, the Cardinals clinched the NL Central. They played a double dip with the Pirates. They got beat 8-2 in the front end, but they blew them out 11-1 in the nightcap. So ho-hum, the Cardinals win the Central, huh? Wow.
96 wins.
So Lamb draws a walk, and that'll bring up Chris Owens. Who wants tacos? When the Rockies do score 7 in a game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. So Bettis is working from that third base side of the rubber. It's set against Chris Owens. Owens 1 for 4 last night, and that fastball outside. Starting again at shortstop tonight. There's 101 starts this year at second. Tonight is 25th at short. And check it out with Dale Scott. No swing. Cardinals have been to the playoffs 5 straight years, 6 of their last 7, 12 out of 16. In this sport, where you really have to earn your way to the postseason, that is something. Slider swung on and missed. Ability to make a pitch and a hitter's count so important, isn't it?
It has to be. You got to be able to flip the breaking ball, a slider, or paint the fastball where you need it to. You're going to get hurt. And this is the last place you want to get hurt when you got an 8-hole hitter up. Now he's got some RBIs. He got 43, so don't make a mistake.
And the slider's outside. 3-1. Back-to-back walks. They load the bases for Chase Anderson.
Not a great hitter, but can swing the bat. Chase Anderson, he is 109 with 3 RBIs on the year. The pitch count looks so quick and easy through the first 4 hitters of the ball game, and it's turned into a little bit more of a deep pitch count for Chad Bettis. 32 jumped so quickly in this inning.
Yeah, I thought he worked well to Lamb, and there were a couple near misses, but
32 pitches, 17 strikes. It's not enough.
Yeah, but not the case with Owens. Anderson sitting on that fastball naturally fouled it off. One and one. Hard ground ball, but right at Justin Morneau. He'll run to the bag, and no harm done in the second. There was a double and 2 walks. The bases left loaded. 1-0 as we go to the third. Rockies up. Field, middle game of a 3-game set, final week of the regular season that is 2015. Chad Bettis is going to lead things off at the top of the order, and joining us over the next couple of innings, the general manager of the Colorado Rockies. Got a nice shirt on us. For a second, you threw me off because I'm used to Frazier sitting here. I'm like, oh my goodness, I wore the wrong color shirt today. But
well,
we're gray.
Represent purple.
You got to represent. There you go. Jeff Bridich, how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
How are you?
I am well. So you were at Instructional League today. Is that fun for you? I mean, it's kind of old school for you because you're used to being there.
Yeah, it's 100. I see your little note there. 105 degrees today.
No. Time out. It's 105 right now. At first pitch, it was 105.
Yeah, it was about 110. It's a good reminder. The type of hard work that these guys have to do in order to make it, and we got a lot of talented kids in that program, and it's being run real well, very aggressively, and Zach Wilson and the rest of the guys are doing an awesome job, and the kids are doing an awesome job, and it's fun.
And here's some B-roll today. It is truly a lot of instruction and not very many games. Recognize that kid, by the way.
Yeah, we've over time we changed it. It used to be 5-6 weeks long and go deep into October and even November if you go back far enough decades ago. And we just I think we started to notice we got diminishing returns, and so we changed it up and changed the focus and away from games, although there are going to be about 4 or 5 games towards the end, but more towards individualized, very specific individual and small group learning, and very team oriented fundamental learning.
How do you determine who goes to Instructional League?
Well, it is it's really about philosophy. Some organizations have a large program. Some organizations now in the Valley here are having or running 2 different. They run a lower level instructional league and what they call an advanced league, and it's mostly games, and it's kind of a co-op situation. And I think a lot of those teams with many minor league teams, multiple rookie league teams, and they have a lot of players that they want to try and get better. Our operation is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more selective, and it's a very, very difficult decision because you hate leaving people out that you may leave out. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to make the best decision on what kids at their stage of their development, at the stage of their career, are going to get the most out of what's going to be offered and demanded of this program.
Is there a wide range? Because the young man I referenced, your first pick, Brandon Rogers, is there. Who? How how far along in one's minor league career, professional career, could you still be selected to go to instructional league?
You know, we've had guys that are in Double-A. They come down because they need specific work. Maybe it's a position change. Maybe, of a level, whether it was high A or Double-A, showed them that there's a major deficiency or some major deficiency in whatever they were doing during the season came about, and we need to focus on this and get this right before next spring training. So it really doesn't matter. You got to weigh it against rest and how tired guys are. If they're overtired, are they going to really get anything out of the program? And also for guys that need to be challenged in other ways, whether it's going to Australia and playing, or going to the Arizona Fall League, or going to the Dominican or Venezuela, which we have a number of players doing. Those are also really beneficial things that happen a lot of times, especially when the players get older.
And there's Senzatella will be going down to Latin America to play. He's going to play in the Dominican.
Yeah, limited amount. He's only about 4 or 5 starts, depending on how well he does there. But yeah, I just really wanted him to get a taste of that competition, but not add too many innings, because he did have, he missed a little bit of time with a knee injury, so we're making up a little bit of lost time, but not wanting to overdo it.
3-0 the count on Reyes with 2 outs. Jeff Bridich, the general manager of the Rockies, joining us. And that's low. So Jose looks at 4 pitches. He'll jog down to first, and that will allow Cargo to hit, who got his first career knock against Anderson in the first. It was a single. Unfortunately, he was stranded there. I thought Nolan clicked that. Did you think that was going out?
It sounded good.
It did sound good.
And so did Dustin. So I thought maybe Dustin's had a little bit more carry to it too. It was loud off the bat, but yeah, Nolan. Anytime Nolan puts the ball in the air these days, it seems like it's got a chance.
How special is that for you, first-year general manager, to see post-Humidor? You have 2 guys with 40-plus home runs.
Right. It is special. I think I think that there's a different story for each guy, which is kind of cool. Cargo was early in the year was really literally getting his feet and his legs underneath him, and it took a little time to get confidence there, and the strength back, the fearlessness back that he can play with, and the timing back. And he's did it. He worked his butt off in the off season and through the season, and once we kind of hit late May and early June, and all of a sudden he's playing like the Cargo that we know.
I've said this a bunch. I mean, it's a really small number of players that could have his numbers on June 1st and now have his numbers.
Right. Yeah. It is amazing. It's it kind of, if you look at Chris Bryant's here, right? And the whole story about.
Yeah, this ball's hit well left center. This got a chance to fly. Boy, the ball's just not carrying. I thought he hit that.
Yeah, it looked good.
It looked really good. So Cargo lines out to deep left center. And that'll strand Reyes, and we will go to the bottom of the 3rd with the Rockies in front 1-0. I think Cargo thought he hit that at the very least off the wall. We'll come back more with Jeff Bridich after this. Pitch fouled off by Socrates Brito. Is that what you studied, by the way, in college?
It's one of those names we have at Coors Field. Is it a name or one of those baseball names or fake names, right?
Is he one of them?
I think he's one of them.
I just say there are so many crazy names that I just say, yeah, that's real. The game they played.
Couldn't make it up, right?
No,
it has to be real.
Little brother Plato's a pretty good player, also. Here's the 1-1.
If the baseball thing doesn't work out, he's probably got a backup plan.
Got a whole bunch of material for you, Socrates. 2-1. Okay, let's start here with this season. Obviously, it's a bottom line business, and it's about winning and going to the postseason. So from that standpoint, you're not where you want to be, clearly.
Right.
What things went well? What are you pleased with what occurred on the field that you look at as, okay, these are foundational pieces or building blocks to get to where we want to be?
I think defensively, we've been very consistent and very good. I think for a number of different reasons. I think defensively, it's always been, not always, but for a long time, it's been one of our hallmarks. We know we have to defend at home. We have to defend a big field, and it's a priority. And I think we've defended very well. I think the catchers, and for most of the year, it was Nick and Mac, and they did a nice job. And but having that consistency and knowing that you're going to get that most nights, and some of it, for us, a lot of it in the infield is Gold Glove type of work. So that continues to be a strength, continues to need to be a strength for us in the future, and the plan is. And I think having Cargo run around healthy in the outfield again and not having to limp around and being able to cut balls off and do what he's used to doing helps out a lot. So I think that's been probably the most consistent part of our game this year.
When you look and see how this club, I know I look on it, and again, the record is what the record is right now. But even last night, it was a loss in 11 innings. They seem to compete every night.
Yep.
And that has to please you. This ball lined toward deep right center, and Cargo's going to have to field it one hop off the wall. Gosselin runs well, and he's going to end up at third with a triple. So with one out, Gosselin, the tying run at third base. Got inside a high fastball.
Nice job of hitting by the end.
Yep. So that'll bring up A.J. Pollock. Talk about a guy that's developed himself into a star-level player. A.J. Pollock.
He really has. The story is, what we've heard is his work ethic. He's in the organization has been second to none.
And the guy behind him has a great work ethic. Your guy at third base has a great work ethic. It's not an accident.
It's a common theme.
Yeah.
It's not. And the guys that figure out ways to challenge themselves little by little, even as they reach the highest level, those are the guys that go from good to great.
So getting back to, how this team has competed.
Yep.
That's a cultural thing too, isn't it, that you want to see, Jeff, going forward?
It is. In some ways it's sad that,
should be a given,
right? Yeah. That at times you're surprised by it, or you have to. It's such a wonderful thing when you see it. Everybody knows these guys are lucky to be doing what they're doing, and they get paid a lot of money to do it, and it's a game. And as we say a lot, you dressed up in a costume and play a game every night, right? I mean, how bad can it be? But at the same time, it is a long season. It's absolutely a marathon, and there are good days and bad days, and it is a culture that I think we do have, that I know Walt is very proud of, and the coaching staff is very proud of, and in spite of the overall records and everything, we continue to play hard over the last couple of years. It's been good.
Dale Scott says Pollock went around. You can see Pollock generally enthused with that call.
It's a big strikeout for Chad.
That's a huge strikeout. It was close. So Paul Goldschmidt with 2 outs. This is one of the bright spots also. Clearly Chad Bettis made some strides this year, hasn't he?
He has, and the path that he took to do it is, was one of it wasn't the easy thing to do in terms of taking steps back in spring training and say we got to, in certain ways, start from ground zero, and we got to rework and redefine some of the stuff that he did. But he bought in and understood and was fully committed from the get-go with Steve Foster and Darren Holmes, and look at what happened. And I think we committed to him. And he committed to himself being a starter again. None of the back and forth anymore. And we everybody moved together, in a positive direction from the get-go. And lo and behold, he was in the big leagues, starting for us in short order.
2-1 on Goldschmidt, one of the best players in the National League. This is a complete player. He's going to garner once again a lot of MVP votes, along with the guy at third base for the Rockies. 315, 31, and 106. Not to mention upward 20 stolen bases also. Off the end of the bat. Had some cut to it. 2-2. Important that Corey Dickerson's finishing the season, I put this in quotations, relatively healthy. So he can swing the bat and take something into the offseason as opposed to, boy, I haven't played in 3 months, that type of thing.
I mean, the physical health is one, the mental health, for him, I think probably.
How about that? That is big-time pitching. Chad Bettis gets A.J. Pollock and Paul Goldschmidt with the tying run at third base. 3 strikeouts all here in the third inning for Bettis. More with Jeff Bridich in a moment. It's not just a truck, it's an F-150, the future of tough. By Southwest Airlines, book your loafer now at southwest.com, and by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Outstanding pitching in the bottom of the third inning. A.J. Pollock and Paul Goldschmidt, the 2 All-Stars for Arizona at the plate with tying run at third. And all Chad Bettis did was strike them both out. So Arenado will lead off the fourth inning. The Rockies up 1-0. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Ryan Spilborghs. We kicked Frazier out of the booth, and we've replaced him with the Rockies general manager, Jeff Bridich. I'm opening the door for you to take a shot, by the way.
Well, Frazier or Spilly? I mean, I guess they're equal targets, right?
Yeah, they're easy targets.
I told Spilly that he better watch out because I got all sorts of. I kind of lied. I don't have any material lined up for Spilly.
I can give you some. You want some?
I grew up with Spilly in this organization, and so I got plenty. I'll spare everybody.
This ball loud and down the left field line. This looks like it'll be a double for Nolan Arenado. So a lead double for Nolan. I got to check. Is that 39 or 40?
Left fielder Corey Dickerson.
That is Arenado's 40th double. How many guys produce 40 home runs and 40 doubles in a season?
You know, if you believe in that extra base hits, that leads to run production, whether it's scoring or driving them in. I mean, it's big time.
And he's got the baseball in the dugout. That's a keepsake also. Alan Bossert has it. And Corey Dickerson.
All right, let's get him over.
Yeah, and he did it yesterday.
Yes,
he had a high-quality team at bat.
Late in the game.
Late in the game.
Yeah, it was, those fundamentals, especially for us in the division that we play against, some of the pitching that we play against, which is some of the best in the game, all clumped. I mean, you're talking about guys like Kershaw and Greinke and Bumgarner. And face those guys, especially on the road, rolling in and being able to manufacture runs and take advantage of opportunities and do things that the team needs done to score runs. The few that we might get that night, it's really critical.
Yeah, last night a case in point, and you had the right guy at the plate trying to get a bunt down, and I take my chance with DJ LeMahieu anytime, and unfortunately it didn't work out. Nolan looked like a safety squeeze, got a little too far off the bag, trying to get a decent jump. And
yeah, and we had a chance earlier in the night too. I think we stranded another runner on third base with less than 2 outs, and those are the things that little things that add up, and the good teams do it.
Yeah, you had Blackman at third with Reyes and Cargo up, and unusual that you're not going to get the run home there. When you look and you've evaluated now for going all the way back to spring training, it's been more than 6 months. If you had to put your finger on 2, 3, 4 items, and I'm sure your list is longer than that, to get to where you want this club to be in the postseason, and it's going to be an easy play for Jake Lamb, 1 out. What would those items be? What's the top of the priority list where we need to be better in this area, or we need better personnel in this area to become, instead of a whatever it ends up being, a 90-plus win team, and that's what you want to be.
Yeah. It's easy. I think the easy target is the pitching, and it's something that we talked about 12 months ago, almost 12 months ago now, and that's the type of depth that we have, and how impactful is that depth, both in the, at least on the pitching side, in the rotation and in the bullpen, and how do you get that depth? I mean, there's a bunch of ways to get it. We feel like we have some of that, whether it's established guys, guys like De La, guys who are coming up and starting to establish themselves. Maybe Chad Bettis falls into that. We got babies like John Gray who are coming, and others that'll come and become part of that. But how do you the process of establishing those that depth, that true 1 through, if you look at a 40-man roster, the 1 through 20 or 22 or however many pitchers you might have on that roster. And then offensively, I think the consistency, the stuff that you and I were just talking about in terms of fundamentals and recognizing what the game's asking us to do, and recognizing what the game is showing us to do, and committing to executing those things better than our opponents more often than not, whether it's at home or on the road, because it's very difficult to play 2 different brands of baseball, at home and on the road. So are we doing those things better than our opponents generally? And that's really important. And to have the personnel that can do that, and to be able to score, have a dynamic offensive operation where you can score in a bunch of different ways, and it doesn't just come from home runs, which obviously a lot of our run production has come from home runs this year. Which is a good thing, obviously. I mean, you need guys that can hit the ball out of the ball.
But scoring in a multitude of ways.
You have to have it.
Yes.
If you're not just going to roll into Dodger Stadium and face Greinke and Kershaw and expect to hit 5 home runs off.
Right, play Earl Weaver baseball. It's not going to happen. Let me ask you this. This has not been visited in a long time, and anybody who's a Rockies fan is aware of what happened now more than 15 years ago when the Rockies spent a ton of money and went out and signed Mike Hampton, free agent pitcher, Denny Nagel, free agent pitcher. Right. Other than the first half of that, which some people have forgotten because Mike Hampton was actually an all-star
right.
His first year in a Rockies uniform. He pitched wonderfully well initially, but it didn't work out at the end of the day.
Right.
And the organization, so soured by that experience, has not visited being in the free agent sweepstakes for a pitcher since then. And we all know that pitchers aren't lining up to come pitch at Coors Field. Is that a possibility that you revisit that in certain situations now for a bigger name? Maybe it's not the Max Scherzer level, but it's not you know, a number 5 starter level either.
And I think it's an interesting question because you're talking about one philosophy, an organizational philosophy, and some organizations are, heck yes, you know, this is part of who we are, and some organizations shy away and say no, we're going to do things differently. So you're asking about philosophy. You're also asking about, you know, economics, right?
Sure.
So, you know, in the wake of signing Hampton and Nagel and then moving on from those contracts, you know, the organization went through a reality check on its, you know, major league payroll and the economics, and we were somewhat upside down, and so that affected, you know, that correction took years, and that affected, you know, decisions that we were going to make, and basically took us out of the running from not just, you know, big free agent pitching signings, but big, huge free agent signings altogether. And I think part of it was good because it forced us to kind of codify and realize what our bread and butter and what our foundation is going to have to be moving forward, probably forever. You know, but now we're no longer in the wake of that. We are past that wake, and we're further down the road. And so I think, you know, I'm trying to speak for Dick, but I think, or anybody else in our operation, but I think we're always looking to grow. And, you know, I think our major league payroll is a part of that growth, and over time, and so the hope is, that we will be active. You know, to what extent, it takes two to tango, but it's not like we don't put effort and we don't put focus in the off season. And you know, right now, actually, it's prior to the off season. I mean, we're doing a lot of work, but that'll be part of who we are. And if it takes, use cliche, but it takes two to tango.
Sure.
So just because you want to do it doesn't mean that
right.
It's naturally going to get done.
And you have to identify the right makeup guy also. You want the right talent, certainly, but it has to be the right makeup guy to understand that you're probably not going to win an ERA title.
Yeah, you know, there are things that the inconsistencies at times of the ballpark and the atmosphere. You know, sometimes sometimes there's things that you just can't control, and you know that can be frustrating. It does take a mentally disciplined and mentally tough person to accept that and be okay with himself, and you know, there's always going to be fear. Fearless is the wrong word, but know how to manage that fear at times, and know that it's you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. And you know, there are organizations that have flipped to that. Their situation, whether it's in Seattle or San Francisco or other parks that are big parks and definitely pitchers parks, their situation is reversed. So look, it's not a crutch. We're not going to use it as a crutch or an excuse. You know, it's part of our reality, and so we're gonna look to take advantage of it.
What elements of this club are championship level for you right now?
Well, it's the defense, I think, is, as I said before. Are you talking primarily the major league club?
Absolutely. Yeah. Right now,
I think that there is a depth to our lineup right now that can be very productive, and it's still got its youth, and there are guys still in their prime, and that there are guys that have improved at the major league level over the last few years that at key spots in the field or in the lineup. I think our catching, with some of the guys that are graduating, that, as I mentioned before, Nick Hundley and Mike McHenry, and now Dustin Garneau and Tommy Murphy, and that's a real solid group right there. And it's to graduate two guys to this level this year at a position that's always going to be a need for any organization at the big league level, to have productive catching on both sides of the ball. And I think that's a big thing for us.
And that's going to twist foul, so it's 3-2 on DJ, 1 out. Nolan led off with a double. He's at second. Morneau, as you were watching, is at first after walking. Rockies leading 1-0 in the fourth.
And to finish that off, I think there's some power arms that we've added. There's some younger guys in the bullpen, especially that have a chance to potentially grow together, and really, the hope is that they comprise a core as we move forward here, and they grow together to major league level in the pen.
Two outs as DJ hits a comebacker to Anderson. And now you have first base open. Dustin Garneau, who Jeff was referring to a moment ago, come up, and you would think they would put him on for Bettis with first base unoccupied. It's a good story is Justin Morneau. I'm sure a lot of people, including Justin Morneau, are wondering if he would play baseball again. Not only is he playing again, but he's playing well. Is he a guy, and you probably can't answer this, I know he has a really large number and there's a smaller buyout, a much smaller buyout. Is he somebody that still interests the organization potentially because of what he brings on and off the field?
Yeah, I think that was the case 12 months ago. Right? There's certainly interest in Justin because of who he is and what he's done, and the fact that we wanted him around, and certainly the staff wanted him around, and because of what he represents in the clubhouse and on the team in a lot of different ways. So yeah, I mean that's a long answer to to say yes. We'll have to see what that looks like, and what his thoughts are as well. But it's been a good, to this point, it's been a good marriage.
I asked Walt this earlier for a taped interview that we're going to show over the next couple of days during our pregame coverage as Chad Bettis steps in. Can you create a winning culture? You've created a competitive culture. I mean, I know this, and I think you do also. You talk to other GMs, certainly, but we're on the field every day, and we talk to other players and the opposition manager. There's great respect for how the Rockies compete. You were addressing that earlier.
Yep.
And there's great respect, obviously, for a lot of the guys that are rolling out there and playing every day. Can you create a winning culture before the actual winning occurs? Does that make sense? Or does the winning has to happen and then you become, over a long period of time? That's, the Cardinals have a winning culture. But can you put one in front of the other and have that atmosphere first where people believe?
I think you have to, because if you're going to wait around for winning to happen and have that define, expect that to define your culture, you're shooting at a moving target, and you're really, what type of plan is that? And in any sort of winning, whether it's a long streak or a short streak, one season, many seasons, there is a little bit of luck involved. There are seasons where things go your way, whether it's injuries or how the ball bounces in certain plays, and maybe it's a one inning or one pitch that determines whether you're in the playoffs or not. So there's luck, and if you're waiting for all those things to come together to create your culture, you're probably going to be waiting for a long time.
Stick around another half inning?
Sure.
Jeff's been great. Jeff Bridich with us, general manager of the Rockies. Colorado leading 1-0, middle of fourth. Salta, Jared Saltalamacchia, and Jake Lamb. Joining me upstairs the last couple of innings, the general manager, Jeff Bridich. We were talking about the process of creating a winning culture, the process of changing things around and producing a team that competes to play in the postseason. It's tough to get to the postseason every year. Something else that from time to time is thrown out there, that mid-market teams, realistically, if you take a 10-year period, they probably can only get to the postseason a couple of times if they're being realistic. Do you buy into that, or do you think that you can get to the point where the Rockies, and again, you mentioned there's variables, there is luck involved, but a large percentage of the time, can this organization get to the point where they are competing in September for a postseason spot, or is that unrealistic with the dynamics of the sport and the dynamics of being, a middle market franchise? Not an easy question.
It's not easy. It's not easy to talk, fluently or intelligently about all other mid-market organizations. We certainly fit in there. I think, Denver's the 17th market, so it's right in the middle, 17th, 16th, somewhere in there. So, yeah, we are mid-market. You think but about other mid-market operations and what they've done and why they've done things, but you haven't really lived it. So, depending on the people you talk to, they might say, well, this was the linchpin that really spurred us on to however many years of winning, and somebody else might say, well, this was actually why I think. It takes so much effort and so many different combined efforts across a large organization that it's probably tough to point out one specific thing that's going to carry quote unquote mid markets through years of success, because they all do it. I imagine they all do it a little differently. I think the answer to your question is that yes, if you believe in and you act on what you believe in, if you believe in things and you act on what you believe in and you're consistent in those, and there's trust throughout in terms of how we're going to execute those beliefs, and you work like heck not to stray from those beliefs too violently in one direction or the other, then you have a chance for sustained success. And there's always temptations in these whether it's this industry or other industries to, well, we've quote unquote got this all figured out. We're done. We're done learning, or we got this all figured out, and so it's all we need to do is this. It's all we need is this one guy, and we're World Series champs. It's all we need is, and those can be dangerous things. It's no surprise that mid markets generally probably have to operate differently than, say, the Dodgers or the Red Sox or the Yankees have operated. Just pure, money wise in terms of how they allocate resources. But that doesn't always lead to success either. Big pools or piles of money doesn't mean that you're automatically playing in the World Series.
No, not at all. I mean, the Washington Nationals are a prime example this year, and they're going to be strutted out there until next spring. As
Boston Red Sox,
sure,
as well as they've done over the past decade. They had a tough year. I mean, it doesn't, just because there's huge signings doesn't guarantee you postseason success.
Well, this offseason, is there a way to look in the crystal ball and say this offseason is, will be a momentous one for the Rockies because, X, Y, and Z potentially are going to happen? This should be too. Well, maybe not.
Shifted.
Yep.
I would like to think that every offseason for us is important, and to use your word, momentous. I think that maybe for different reasons. We're not going to have the same priorities necessarily each offseason. So, off-season is a misnomer too. But the time
that's really in season for you and your staff. I understand that.
Yeah, it's that the time when we're not playing games, that it's important in that we spend that time really appreciating what we have and knowing what we need.
Is it hard in your position not to Monday morning quarterback and have quick answers when you look at just one game or a snippet of games, because there's so many, and as you said a moment ago, be true to what the organizational philosophy is?
Honestly, it's probably one of the most difficult things is to take those deep breaths and know that you know, that anything reactionary and most things reactionary are in this game, especially with 162 in a long season, is not going to be a good thing.
It's tough. It's tough. Jeff, I wish you all the luck in the world. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Jeff Wright is general manager of the Rockies. Rockies continue to lead 1-0 behind Chad Bettis. That is a ton, and I think it was back in '93 when the Red Sox won 103, and it was before wild card stuff, and didn't go.
Well, how about Seattle winning 116 and out?
Well,
after the first
they
round.
went, but then they went home.
Quickly.
Imagine winning 103 games and you don't get invited to the party.
Yeah, well, tough league they were playing in that year. Hey, next time Brady's comes in here, will you tell him to keep score?
You got some catching up to
nothing.
do.
What is this? Kidding me?
Top of the
Graduated
fifth
from
inning.
Harvard. Maybe they didn't teach him. Let me have your book, Dougie.
He probably did it on computer back then.
Yeah, maybe.
Your book's empty. Sure. You can't look at mine. I'm not helping.
I'm not
you.
going to. Dougie gave me his. I just can't read it.
Dougie writes.
Let's see here.
No, actually, Doug's pretty easy to read. What do you want?
Nothing. I got it.
Blackman popped this to second his last time.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
2-1 on Charlie. Top of the order against Anderson, and he gets under this one, and it's high fly ball to left field. Peralta's been busy tonight. He's got it. 1 out. Well, you were watching, but not talking about it. How about Bettis striking out Pollock and Goldschmidt back to back?
Yeah, that was outstanding. No question.
With the tying run at third base. So the Blue Jays clinch. Jose Reyes up, strikeout and a walk. With Toronto back in the postseason for the first time in a couple of decades, the Mariners now have the longest playoff drought. Seattle has not been in since '01, which was the 116-win season. Tough pitch to lay off of. Good job by Jose. That's a strike. Reyes in his career has hit .354 against the Diamondbacks. That's the 7th best average by an opponent against Arizona. Willeen Rosario's on that list at .356. Blackman is third at .359. And this is pulled to second. And Gosselin throws out Reyes. George, I don't know if you were watching Cargo.
Well,
Cargo in his last at bat, I thought he hit the ball out to left center field. What's the deal? The ball's not traveling tonight, huh?
No, it really isn't. There's not much wind. It says 10 miles an hour left to right in here, but I don't see 10 miles an hour. But the ball got knocked down very quickly.
Cargo 1 for 2, a single in the first, and a laser to deep left his last time up. Good swing there, fouled off. Last player, Cargo's got 27 home runs since the All-Star break. The last player in Major League Baseball to hit more home runs in the second half was Joey Bats. Jose Batista hit 30 in 2010 in the second half. Cargo with 27. He and Bichette have the Rockies record. And that's fouled off. Now this is a slider changeup count with Chase Anderson's arsenal. There's Cargo in 2015, 20 years after Bichette hit 27 second half home runs. And he got him with that changeup. 1, 2, 3, fifth inning for Anderson. Anderson's been very good. Chad Bettis has been a little bit better. Schedule is brought to you by Remax. Now we have to look into 2016 for the upcoming home schedule. Rockies will open up against the Padres at home. They'll actually open here against the Diamondbacks. Other highlights: the Yankees will be in town this year. The Blue Jays and one Troy Tulowitzki will be in town. That's a good looking pitch and a strike. So it's 1-1. Fireworks when the Phillies are in around the 4th. Tampa will be in. Texas will be in. And Milwaukee, the final home series of the year, will feature fireworks as well. Some of the highlights of the 2016 schedule. Rockies will be playing in Boston next year, playing in New York against the Yankees also. Nolan's got it, sets his feet, and throws out Chase Anderson. One out. Socrates Brito will come up.
Right fielder, Socrates Brito.
And a line drive, base hit. Cargo try to cut it off. He will. And Brito's trying for second. Here's the throw, and he's in there with a double. We learned last night he runs pretty well.
He runs really well. And he runs the bases well. There's a difference. He really cut that bag very good at first base when he hit it. That's why he had the opportunity to get to second base. Good sinker down and in. Going to drive it right up past DJ LeMahieu into the outfield. Cargo got over to the baseball and then tried to regroup himself. Strong throw in and for slide ahead of the throw.
So with one out, the tying run at second base, and Phil Gosselin, who tripled to right field in the third, and then we saw some great pitching from Chad Bettis, striking out Pollock and Goldschmidt to put the inning down in succession. Next pitch for Chad will be his 70th, right on line with one out in the fifth inning. Right on line with where you'd like to be pitch count wise.
Sales going on right now at your Rockies dugout stores. Dial 303-832-TEAM for store locations. Store-wide sale going on right now, so make sure you get out to one of the locations, pick up your Rockies gear.
Well-located fastball. You always talk about location, George, because Chad has had it tonight, though he doesn't have his A+ fastball. We've seen him work some nights 94, 95 and kind of sit on that.
Early in the game, he had a couple of 94s, but the majority of the time, it's been 89, 91, 92 with good sink and movement and location. Proves the point. Put it where you want to, you get out.
Sliders low, 1-2. Pollock on deck.
13 of 20 first pitch strikes for Chad Bettis. It changes the whole game.
Four hits for the Diamondbacks, 3 for the Rockies. And wow, that got through
Big
Garneau.
mistake.
That's costly.
Very costly. A lot of times catchers will try to hold the pitch in the glove. Charlie O'Brien was one of the best at it, where you catch the baseball and try to keep it in the strike zone as long as you can. He just flat out missed that. He just closed early. It had a little late cut to it. Hit right off the top of his glove. First pass ball, I believe, on Garneau.
Infield's in, 2-2. And this is popped up and it's drifting out of play, unfortunately.
Yeah, this gentleman making a nice gesture up the stands. He caught that and he walked down about 5 rows and gave him baseball. Cool. All White's trying to get this second out here in the fifth with a runner in scoring position.
And this ball in the air to deep left center field, and it'll get the run home as Blackman makes the catch, and that pass ball is huge. 1-1. Gosselin drove in the game winner yesterday in the 11th, and he ties it up here in the 5th with a sac fly.
13th RBI of the season for Gosselin, who missed an awful lot of this season with the injury. Back playing again now.
A.J. Pollock with 2 outs and nobody on. One and one on Pollock. Fastball's in. And bounce to third. Nolan throws out Pollock to end the inning. So Brito scores after doubling. A wild pitch, or excuse me, a pass ball got him to third. So that's an unearned run. 1-1. Watch the Kansas Jayhawks against the Iowa State Cyclones from Ames. And then at 6 in the evening, it's the Rio Grande rivalry as New Mexico State and New Mexico will battle each other. That is Kansas and Iowa State, and New Mexico State on Root Sports Saturday. Nolan Arenado in the 6th inning in a 1-1 game now. Nolan, a deep drive to left, caught at the wall. In fact, reaching up to the top of the wall was David Peralta, and then a loud double to left. So Arenado has barreled Chase Anderson twice this evening. Curveball misses. Well, we mentioned that Nolan, with his 40th double, becomes one of 4 Rockies to have 40 homers and 40 doubles in a season. He joins Helton, who did it twice, Walker and Burks. The 2 years that we show with Helton, those were the years that Todd had more than 100 base hits. Nolan, with another base hit. Well, he's hit it hard tonight again. Nolan leads baseball in extra base hits. Arenado with the double tonight has 85 extra base hits. And there's a double.
Another shot by Nolan down into the corner. And Drew mentioned 100 hits, 100 extra base hits.
Yeah, I said 100 hits. I'm sorry, 100 extra base hits.
Extra base hits, which is a huge amount for any player.
Yeah, right man at the plate, Corey Dickerson. Fly ball to left and a foul out to third.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Reynolds is the left-hander warming up down in their bullpen. I can't quite see the right-hander at this time. Dougie just gave it to him. Only 15 extra base hits as a player had. 15 times as a player had 100 extra base hits or more.
Has anybody done it since Helton in 01?
No. Delgado, the right-hander, is the one warming up down in the bullpen.
Dickerson had a rip there. It's 1-2.
Playing fantasy baseball, MLB.tv serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking on info of your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices.
And that changeup, it has been outstanding in a word tonight for Chase Anderson. 1 out, and that'll bring up Morneau. Triple and a walk tonight for Justin.
91 pitches. Chip Hale's out of the dugout. Not surprising as they protect this young right-hander. He got farther down there, and that's exactly what Chip's going to do. They're going to go get the kid out of the ball game and bring in the Reynolds, the left-hander, to face Justin Morneau.
Anderson walks off, and he gets a lot of applause. He deserves it. A base hit to begin things, then a strikeout at Dickerson, and now a pitching change. Justin Morneau is going to face Keith Hessler. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is ROXWIN at papajohns.com.
Hessler, non-drafted free agent sign in 2011. He's pitched in 15 games this year, high earned run average. It hasn't been the same as it was at the minor league level for him. He started the year in A-ball in Visalia, moved to Double-A Mobile, Alabama, and then on to Reno, Nevada, where he's 5-2, one save, 214 earned run average in 51 ball games this year. First batter faced efficiency, they are 3 for 14 against. He has inherited 9 base runners. 6 have not scored. And he'll start him out with a fastball at 92 miles an hour.
Hessler went to Coastal Carolina, which has a very good baseball program. And his junior year, he was drafted in the 28th round by the Diamondbacks, but did not sign. And then after his senior year, he wasn't drafted, but he knew the Diamondbacks liked him, so he ended up signing, as George described, as an undrafted free agent. But man, it's pretty wild when you rise from high A-ball all the way to the big leagues in one season.
Their organization's known for that. They're not afraid to move them quick.
1-2 on Morneau. The year that Todd had 100 last year, he had 100 plus extra base hits, 2000-2001. That was the last year anybody's done it, as Morneau goes down swinging. But he was joined by Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and a guy that I was chatting with earlier tonight, Luis Gonzalez, one of the all-time great Diamondbacks. Luis still works for the organization. Well, Hessler got Morneau, and his job's done, so he'll go off, and DJ LeMahieu will see a new arm when we come back.
guys have been talking about Instructional League. Well, the next step above Instructional League is the Arizona Fall League. So I talked to Zach Wilson about the roster that he has this year and how important it is for this group of guys.
We have put quite a list together, and the Fall League guys that we're sending this year, I mean, those guys shine throughout the year. You know, not that we pay attention to prospect lists, but if you look at the list, these are guys that are scurried about all the lists that you look at, and so it's a talented group for sure. And the Fall League is going to be big for them in terms of that type of competition, that type of energy and atmosphere that they're going to be able to play in, and they're going against the other best minor leaguers out there.
Well, as Randall Delgado is facing DJ LeMahieu, LeMahieu is a guy that has played Fall League before. And if you look at the roster, some of the names that stand out are going to be the Kyle Freeland, the Tom Murphy. Well, Tom Murphy isn't quite decided yet if he's going to attend Fall League because of his call-up to the big leagues. But that is quite a list if you look at Baseball America, ESPN. All these guys rank near the top.
Yeah, it is a very good list. And David Dahl with the injury, it's good for him to get the extra. Sam Moles put his name out on there big time with what he's been able to accomplish. Kyle Freeland got a late start after the surgery in the spring. So, yeah, that's going to be a good list and a good test. And the hardest thing about it, Spilly, you were over there today. The infields are hard. You got guys, you got wind blowing out. It's the fall. And you're playing with 35 guys you don't know. So, I mean, it's a great test for you.
It is a great test, but more importantly, it's playing baseball late in the year where you're not used to playing until October, November, and then having that feeling that you're one of the guys that's going to be part of the Rockies organization.
Bouncer to second, and LeMahieu is retired to end the inning. So Nolan led off with a single, but nothing else behind him. 1-1, middle of 6. Desert with George Frazier and Ryan Spilborghs. I'm Drew Goodman. A little bit more on the Arizona Fall League. Spilly was talking about George a moment ago. You go back to 2011, and there were so many big names in the Fall League that year, led by Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, and a fellow by the name of Nolan Arenado. Arenado was the MVP of the Fall League. He had 388, 6 home runs, 33 RBIs. They're the Instructional League guys. Some of the guys, as you see, Rolando Fernandez in the middle there.
It's good for them to bring him out to a ball game and let him see part of this and what's going on.
Well, that year, Arenado in the fall hit 388, 6 home runs, 33 RBIs. Paul Goldschmidt steps in. Here's the 1-0 that's fouled off. Harper hit 333, 6 home runs, 26 RBIs, so he didn't disappoint. Mike Trout hit 245, a home run, 5 RBIs, so he didn't have a strong fall. Also, in the Fall League that year, listen to some of these names. That ball's well hit to Cargo and right, and it is off the fence, and the throw towards second. They get him?
Nope.
A double for Goldschmidt leading off here in the 6th.
Yeah, ball hit hard, tailing away from Cargo down into the corner, and then a throw off. Coming into second base, Cargo going over to get after this baseball. It ricocheted right back to him, and then the strong throw in, but it's on the infield side, and Goldschmidt saw where Reyes was standing. He slid away from it.
So Goldschmidt at second in a 1-1 game. David Peralta, who has hit Bettis hard, a double and a single. He's about the only
you know,
one.
you're talking about the fall league, and we're in a very tight game here. Spilly, playing that extra 30 days is tough. Players aren't used to that.
No, they're not, but it's something that over the course of time, I thought playing winter ball was the best thing for a guy like myself, just because it gave me more and more at-bats. And the way I looked at it was, if I went and played winter ball for 3 or 4 seasons and I got 100 to 150 at-bats, over those years, that's like a full season that got sprinkled on top of me. And we've seen guys how much better they get when you get the extra 400 or 500 at-bats.
Well, when you go to winter ball too, you're not facing an A-ball guy. You're not facing some guy in Double-A for 3 innings and then changing pitchers. You're facing the guys down there. And I think that just makes you grow up as a hitter and as a pitcher.
I think guys should be playing baseball year-round. And I think the facilities at Salt River, how nice they are, they should be using those things year-round for the minor league guys so they can continue working on their craft during the offseason.
Well, I've been a big proponent of, and it costs money, but I'd love to see an Arizona Summer League team that get put in here and allow a lot of those younger kids to get overmatched at times. So, Oberg's up and throwing down in the Rockies bullpen with runners on first and second, and nobody out.
Saltalamacchia. Quickly, the names from that 2011 Banner Fall League season. Jed Jerko actually led the league in hitting. Scooter Gennett was there. Will Myers, Joe Panik, Brian Dozier.
Don't forget Dallas Keuchel was there as a pitcher.
I was getting to him. Keuchel was there. Garrett Cole, Andrew Kashner, Tyson Ross, Will Middlebrooks, Brandon Crawford. There were a whole host of guys that have reached stardom in the big leagues.
Saltalamacchia got his bat blown up with a fly ball to second, and he struck out back in the 4th.
Love one on the ground right here. A run on 5 hits for the Diamondbacks, a run on 4 hits for the Rockies. The run last inning for Arizona was unearned because of the pass ball. 4 strikeouts tonight for Bettis. He's walked 3. At the knees. Good job holding that by Dustin Garneau. Told you Jerry Weinstein's here. He'll get an attaboy. Dustin will from Jerry on that after the game.
You get a slap on the hand for the pass ball. You get an attaboy for framing one. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Tough position. You heard Jeff Bridich earlier. The Rockies have improved behind the plate quite a bit. A lot of that credit naturally goes to Nick Hundley, Mike McHenry. Backed up Nick first 5 months of the season before, unfortunately, both went down with injuries. The Rockies have brought up 2 guys they like a lot, who are getting a lot of experience here in September, in Tom Murphy and Dustin Garneau. 1-2 on Saltalamacchia.
They had a situation last night. I mean, it's well beyond the situation now with a 1-2 count. We had a situation last night, and the guy was up. I'm losing track of it now. A veteran guy, I think it was Aaron Hill, had never had, but I think he had 1 sacrifice. Saltalamacchia had 4 with no outs first and second. If you're wondering they're going to do it, didn't have to.
There's a base hit. Goldschmidt coming home. The throw toward the plate is not in time, and the Diamondbacks take a 2-1 lead. Single walk, single Peralta goes first to third, still nobody out, and Arizona is in front for the first time tonight.
And it all started with Paul Goldschmidt's double to right field. Peralta then walked, and then this base hit by Saltalamacchia, his 23rd RBI now.
Yeah, I think I said single walk. It was double walk single.
Yep, line drive to right field here. He really kept the lower half quiet, utilized his hands, and just got a ball through the infield on the right side.
Jake Lamb at the plate, a walk, and he reached on a fielder's choice. Ground ball foul.
Have you planned on your holiday party yet? With unique indoor event spaces and views of the snow-capped mountains, Coors Field has the perfect space to celebrate the season. For more information, call 303 Rockies and set it up today.
Oh, 0-2 on Lamb, and he strikes him out. So Chad Bettis fans Lamb his 5th strikeout, first out of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Chris Owings. And now a chance to get out of it, allowing just 1 run if you get a double play or if you get Owings. See a pinch hitter, but that strikeout really big, the fact that you prevented Lamb from getting the ball in play.
I want to see too here, you got to be careful. Push bunt, safety squeeze, a lot of different things. They've got a lot of power arms to run out of that bullpen in the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Owings a walk and a fly ball to right field. He's studying Andy Green at third. Here's a squeeze. It's a safety squeeze. Foul ball.
Boy, I tell you, Garneau came out of there in a hurry. Man, oh man.
Guy reveals early, George. What are you taught as a pitcher there?
Well, for me, when I get first and third and he reveals early to me, I'm going to throw it. I was always taught, throw it right at him. Throw it right at him. Because it's tough to bunt. Your catcher knows it. You know what? If you hit him, you hit him, but that run isn't going to score. If you make a mistake, a lot of times guys get a curveball grip or something. That's when it hurts you. Can't change their grip.
This is fouled off, and it's going to go out of play.
You know, now with the way it's changed so much now, they tell you hear them running, you know, squeeze, and it's an up and away pitch where they can't get to it. They got to step across to try to get to the ball. I tell you, it's difficult as a pitcher because you see him square, you put the ball down and you take off running to try to get it. I thought it was great the way Garneau flew out of the back behind that box that time.
1-2 on Owings.
I just had a feeling at some time, 8-hole hitter, guy that can handle the bat a little bit, and I thought somewhere in that at bat he would try that, and sure enough he did. It's kind of one of those gut feelings.
Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts by Bettis. He fans Owings. That's his 6th strikeout. And Aaron Hill will pinch hit.
Yeah, he's been the #1 guy off the bench. Elevated fastball above the hands. Might not have been necessarily where they wanted to put it, but Bettis got away with it. And he got the strikeout, similar to the way he struck out back-to-back in the 3rd inning. You know, one more here would be huge.
Aaron Hill around the trade deadline to talk to Dave Stewart about being moved. Wasn't playing as much. Now, there was a long piece in the Arizona Republic today that he'd actually like to be back, and he's become a little more comfortable. As you look at Tony La Russa and Bob Gebhardt, a little more comfortable with his reduced role.
Players get older and farther along in their career. It becomes very important to them about rings and playoffs. They've made their money. So now it's like, if you can get me to a contender, get me there. It's a little easier to do that, swallowing that role on a contender, than it is against someone else.
Center field and deep. Blackman going back. And Charlie makes the catch. We talk always about limiting damage. Chad Bettis did there. He gave up a quick run and then put the inning down. Took a 1-0 lead, got a sac fly. Nolan Arenado has a double tonight, 38th Major League player ever with 40 homers and 40 doubles. Arizona with a run last inning to take a 2-1 lead. Chad Bettis will be pinch hit for, you would guess. He's due up second, and in his final outing, George, 1 earned run in 6 innings.
An outstanding outing for Chad.
So his last 24 innings, he gives up just 4 earned runs. We'll really be pleased with what Chad Bettis did this year, and what hopefully carries into next year and beyond for the former Texas Tech standout. David Hernandez, who missed a 1.5 years with Tommy John surgery all of last year, reinstated in June after the long rehabilitation.
Hard throwing right-hander. I mean, this guy came over from Baltimore, still a lot of strikeouts, 29 and 31 and a third. Des Calso is in the on-deck circle. It appears the left-hander Rex Brothers has been throwing in the Rockies bullpen.
0-1 on Garneau, and the fastball at 94 misses. 1-1. Pulled that fastball off the plate. It's 2-1 on Dustin. Hit a ball a long way to left center in the second inning, and then was intentionally walked in the fourth. Load the bases with 2 outs. Chad Bettis struck out against Chase Anderson to end that inning.
Hernandez third in all times games appeared in with the Diamondbacks, 247. Valverde with 253. He was recently released. Ziegler with 311. Ziegler is not here. He is in Kansas City with his wife. Just gave birth. They're not sure when he'll be back.
Three and 2 on Dustin. Leading off here in the top of the 7th. And he swung through a slider. Actually hanged it, but it was held by Saltalamacchia. That was a hanging slider. With every challenge call, the Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru. Daniel Descalso pinch hitting. A strike.
8 for 42 with a home run and 3 RBIs for Descalso as a pinch hitter this year.
He went. Slice to left, long run. Peralta can't make the catch, but it was foul. Great effort. How did he get hurt?
Well, he hadn't come out yet. Chip Hale's still here. Bullpen guys aren't moving.
He's up and moving now.
Trainer's not going anywhere. Tell you what, long run, did just miss it. Now he's getting ready to eat that daggum fence over there, and you can see that. That's pretty tough.
Good thing that wall's padded. Well, Daniel's due against the Diamondbacks. He's 1 for 23 this year against Arizona.
Turning this into a pretty good at bat.
Rockies since August 25th, last 34 games, 500, 17 and 17. Trying to finish with a strong final road trip here in 2015. Lost in extras yesterday, 3 and 5 in extra innings this year. 4-3 final in 11 in favor of Arizona. And that was a good pitch. Hernandez strikes out Descalso. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Blackman. Charlie's 0 for 3. A couple fly balls and a pop out. Charlie's riding an 8-game hitting streak, hitting .394 during that stretch. Off the plate, 1-1. Also has an 8-game hitting streak going against Arizona.
Now they got the right-left combination of Holberg and Brothers both going down in the bullpen. The Diamondbacks will have the top of their order with Brito. They'll go to their bench, I would think.
Hernandez works a 1-2-3-7. 2-1 Arizona. Socrates, Brito, Phil Gosselin, and A.J. Pollock. And the Rockies will send Rex Brothers out there. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. The pitching matchup tomorrow. David Hale for the Rockies. And the fine left-hander Patrick Corbin will go for Arizona. Speaking of guys coming back from significant injuries. Brito hit .300 this year between a couple levels in the minor leagues, and the first pitch is in there for a strike at 92. Brito had a double in the 5th inning and would score on a sac fly by Phil Gosselin for the first Diamondbacks run.
Pretty good numbers for Rex of late. 2 ERA now in 9 innings. Last night he came in through a third of an inning against the left-hander, got him out. They're hitting .211 against him.
I think he's got a 1-batter assignment here, and he is successful. And he gets Brito. Now you got a string of right-handed hitters coming up. I'm sure Walt will come out. And he bounces out of the dugout. And Scott Oberg will come in. gone in the bottom of the 7th inning. Phil Gosselin will step up. It'll be the 63rd appearance for Oberg. It's been a year of learning, and he's a guy that's finishing pretty strong also.
He has. To think he spent time at the minor league level plus 63 ball games at the big league level. 57 in the third, 43 strikeouts. The bases are empty. You're down 2-1, but three very difficult right-handed bats coming up in a row.
And that pitch at 95 is in there for a strike. Oberg 10 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball. Nice streak to bring into the ballpark. And the hard breaking ball misses. 1-1.
When you had this kind of year too, you don't want it to ever end. I mean, you want to just keep going and going, and when it's over with and you finally get home and you kind of take a breather, you feel like you got to be someplace the next day. Got to get to the ballpark. I got to play catch. I got to do all these. The best thing you can do is just sit back and relax for about a month, then start that regime back again.
You know what else he's taken good care of late, George? He's kept the ball in the ballpark. Last 21 appearances. That had been a big issue for him. Gives up a single here to Gosselin. Boy, Gosselin's been their star player the last 2 days. Off the bench with a game-winning hit in the 11th yesterday. Earned himself a start, and he's gone triple, sac fly, and a sharp single with 1 out here in the 7th. A.J. Pollock's 0 for 3. Pollock second in the National League in runs scored with 107. Second in hits with 186. His batting average coming in at .317, 5th best in the league.
The left-hander Christian Friedrich had started to throw and doing it in a hurry down in the bullpen.
That's a strike. Pollock last year limited to 75 games, but he hit .302.
Everything really changed. Location first, slider, like to take it out of the zone. He did. Too far out. 2-1. 2-1 count now. See those big numbers since the All-Star break. A.J. Pollock at .340. Votto a ridiculous .372.
Yeah.
Missed, 3-1.
Yeah, that one missed. And that's way outside. Now you have Gosselin pushed to second base and Paul Goldschmidt coming up.
Got one out. Try to flip that double play ball because this will be the last batter you face. He'll bring in Friedrich to face Peralta.
Not the guy you want to see here. hitting .388 over his last 33 games against the Rockies. The slider's off the plate. Doubled in the 6th inning and scored the go-ahead run. He scored on a base hit by Saltalamacchia. Where's that? Looked like it had the corner.
He has handled Goldschmidt so far in their career. 1 for 5 against Scotty Oberg. Let's see that trend continue.
And it's 3-0. Overthrew that. Some people may be wondering what happened with Jordan Pacheco. It was with Arizona the last year and a half. He was sent out and finished the year with Reno.
He didn't hit again. Around 208 with Reno this year.
That had been Jordan's calling card. 3-1.
I talked with Phil Nevin, who's their AAA manager, when he was here, and he said a lot of loud outs, but just flat out didn't have the numbers. Played second, played some third. He caught. Played a little bit of first.
Three and 2. Saw a play game in AAA against the Isotopes this year, and I believe he was playing second. .3-2, and Goldschmidt didn't bite at the slider, and that walk loads the bases for David Peralta.
And Christian Friedrich, I would think. Same situation Christian was brought into last night. Walt's going to have to do it again.
So that didn't work out for Oberg as he gives up a base hit and then 2 walks to the 3 batters he faced. Scott had been pitching exceptionally well. 1 out, bases loaded for Arizona. They're up 2-1. Another pitching change. With 1 out in the 7th. David Peralta, who's 2 for 2 and a walk tonight, is going to face Christian Friedrich.
68th appearance for Christian on the season. 0-4 overall record right now, but last night a very similar situation. A bases loaded, nobody out. He was able to get the ground ball to third base for 1 out, and then Gosselin the base hit to right. Germain is warming, so they have the right-handed counter to come in. But you got Saltalamacchia, a switch hitter. Yeah. Simon Castro, I apologize. I thought it was Germain from here.
Here's the 1-0, and that ball is lifted to fairly deep left field. That'll get a run home. Dickerson.
Yeah, that's
catch and throws it in, and scoring the third run is Gosselin.
Yeah, that's just a professional at bat by Peralta.
Got a pitch he can get in the air. Peralta, excuse me, Drew. Peralta had hit .356 into September with runners in scoring position. He really struggled this month, 2 for 20. Saltalamacchia, an RBI single last inning, 1 for 3. First at bat from the right side in this game. That's out of play. The Diamondbacks believe with the pitching they have returning, they're going to be really tough next year.
Particularly out of their bullpen.
Good block. Saltalamacchia hit 282 from the right side versus 204 from the left. Two on and 2 outs. And that's at the knees.
He's done that well of late. Good fastball inside part of the plate. 1-2 count. Get him to chase. And Saltalamacchia is very aggressive on the sliders down and in. You just got to get it on that back foot. See if you go to that. I just don't like the chances if you let him extend. Didn't chase. Slider, in on base, ball skipped out front. Garneau able to glove it.
See the front of his shirt drenched as he's catching, and the temperature was at 105 when we started. That's another good block. 3-2. Diamondbacks going to have a big series over the weekend. The Astros coming to town.
They're losing 6-3 in Seattle. It's bottom of the 5th inning.
But the Angels lost earlier. 8-7.
Still a half a game. What did the Twins do tonight? Because they're a game and a half back. They could get right back in the middle of that. Minnesota lost 10-2. Cleveland trounced them.
Crowded is 41st in that loss for the Angels. Houston was in a playoff position for 163 days, and now they're on the outside looking in. Andy Green at third. Runners will be moving again. 3-2. And the bases are loaded once again also. Jake Lamb coming up. Rockies have walked 3 in the inning, 6 in the game. Wow, way outside.
Missed again, 2-0. That time the fastball at 91.
Two-0 to Lamb. And Reyes has got it. And he throws that Lamb by a step. In the inning, another run for Arizona. Sac fly by Peralta. Got Gosselin home. 3-1 they lead as we go to the 8th.
Gonzalez's 40th homer was very special to him because it put him in 6th place all-time, tied with the Big Cat. I asked Cargo what that meant to him. This is what he had to say.
I knew right after the game when I talked to my family because, it's been all over the newspapers in Venezuela and, just tying the cat. And I also, I'm the 5th Venezuelan player with 40 home runs in the history. So the only reason I know is because my mom told me. So it's pretty cool.
Well, his mom is right. He is in some very good company. You look at Andres Galarraga, the cat. Miguel Cabrera has done it twice. Richard Hidalgo, a name from the past. And Tony Armas with the big arms and the big mustache. Cargo is in some elite Venezuelan company.
Boy, you're not kidding.
And the graphic, it says por la calle. That is a Latin term for hit it to the street, which is also a term that means a home run. So I wouldn't mind a homer this inning.
It'd be nice to have more than one.
He can hit it into a street, can he? This is a big chopper. Oh, I was hoping it got over Lamb's head. He made a good play. And he throws out Reyes. David Hernandez, 2nd inning of work. And that'll bring up Cargo. Always listen to Mom, right?
You better.
Mom knows best.
Mom also cooks. You better.
Cargo, a single, a line drive to deep left, and a strikeout. Called strike. And this ball lined to left field, standing right there is Peralta, 2 outs. That'll bring up Arenado. Nolan 1 for 3 lifetime against David Hernandez.
January 27th through the 31st, that's the fantasy camp coming up, so make sure you become a part of that. Special coach Todd Helton, he'll coach one of those teams down there, so make sure you're there and sign up for that. Visit Rockies.com/fantasycamp for details today. 303-312-CAMP. If you want to talk to somebody directly, would love to see you come down. I'll be the commissioner this year, as I was a year ago. I'll handle Kangaroo Court. There's a lot of the coaching staff that'll be there. Darren Holmes came up today excited that he had been asked to be a part of it. He's coming down. Drew will be there. Spilly, Sully, Fuentes, there'll be a bunch. Josh Fogg, we always have a good time. And the Cuz, Vinny Castillo will be down. And all you campers actually get to play the coaches in a game. Not this coach, but the coaches.
Doesn't usually go too well.
Not for the campers.
No. 2-0. Nolan 3-0.
But it is a great time.
And a 4-pitch walk to Arenado, so that'll bring the tying run up in Dickerson.
Yeah, they'll go down and get Matt Reynolds. He had been throwing down in the bullpen. I tried to bring him in the game about 2 innings ago. He's finally ready now, Dougie. I think it's Reynolds. He's left-handed. There it is. All right, good.
2 outs. Nolan Arenado just walked. Corey Dickerson is going to face Matt Reynolds here in the 8th.
Reynolds threw a clean inning last night. 17 games for him to appear in now.
Corey's 0 for 3. Fly ball to left. He popped out in foul territory and struck out. And that pitch is a strike on the corner. Pretty solid numbers all the way around. Obviously against righties extraordinary, but he hangs in well against lefties. 278, nothing to be ashamed of. That's a pretty good breaking ball. Real good. 0-2.
Yeah, something Reynolds always had, that good hard slider. Then he gets on top of it and turns it in more to a 3/4 curveball. Really commanded.
See the big zipper on his left elbow. He had Tommy John surgery and he gets a strikeout on 3 pitches. So the Rockies done in the 8th inning. 3-1 Arizona.
Justin Morneau on February 20th, 2016, the University of Denver and Colorado College will face off at Coors Field in the first outdoor collegiate hockey game in Colorado. Tickets are on sale now at Rockies.com/hockey. The Rockies will turn it over here in the 8th to Simon Castro will come into the ball game and pitch for the Rockies. You'll get Chris Owings to start things off. 10th game for him to appear in a 2-0 overall record so far.
Chris Owings walked, fly ball to right, and a strikeout. This ball lined to center field. Blackman slides. Oh man, he went down hard. That turf just is. It's hard to keep the grass as hot as it is, and you see this happen quite a bit, where big chunks, like a 40 handicap golfer, come out of the turf.
Yeah, well, you're trying to put on the brakes there, and it's not the cleats, it's his knee that dug it up. Well, you'll see a good look at it right here. I mean, it just tore that turf to pieces. You know, Simone happy that they got the first out here in the 8th, and then it's just like a good golfer, replace your divot, put a little sand in it, cover it up.
Big, strong veteran minor leaguer Jamie Romack is pinch hitting. So Jamie down in the minor leagues this year with Reno. Romack hit .284, 42 doubles, 27 home runs, drove in 100 with Reno this year. He'll be 30. Actually, he is 30 today. Happy birthday. Two-one, and that's a diving stop by Reyes. And you know what? Probably shouldn't have thrown it because Romack was going to beat it. So good play, bad play. Reyes got to the baseball somehow, and then trying to throw from his backside, he ends up throwing it into the Rockies dugout.
Third error in a Rockies uniform for Jose Reyes, 14th overall on the year. Yeah, you're right. Just one of those great effort, wish you could take it back type plays.
Socrates Brito. Just like saying that name. 1 for 4, doubled and scored in the 5th inning. 3-1 Arizona. Simon Castro misses there. Well, it's a high set, George. That may be the highest set I've ever seen.
Well, I think it helps the starting point for him when he sets up that high, and it kind of gets his motion going, and that's why he does it. I'm talking about up here where he sets well above the head and it drops his hands. So the one thing that does do, though, gives base runners a big advantage.
Three-0 count on Brito. It's kind of been a theme tonight. The Rockies have walked 6 in the game. There's a strike, 3-1. Bettis in his final outing of 2015 threw well. 6 innings, he allowed 2 runs, 1 earned. 6 hits, he walked 3, struck out 6. Three and 2. And he got him, came all the way back, got him with a slider, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Phil Gosselin. He's had a strong night for Arizona.
Got him to chase the breaking ball down in the dirt. It appeared it was going to be a fastball, and he just swung out over the top of it.
Ground ball to Jose. And he'll throw out Gosselin. Will go to the 9th. The Rockies trailing by 2 runs. And Colorado will have Justin Morneau to lead off. Here now at Southwest.com. By Saratoga Casino, so new, so you. And by the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. Rockies trailing 3-1. They led 1-0 till the 5th inning, and then single runs in the 5th, 6th, and 7th for the Diamondbacks. Let's go to Jenny Cavnar in Denver and get an update as to what's to come after the ballgame. Hey, Jenny. All right, guys, thanks much. Daniel Hudson, who we saw last night, he was dominant, and it's interesting because you and I were chatting with the former Rocky general manager and a longtime member now of the front office here in Arizona, Bob Gebhardt, and I remarked to him, I said, that's closer stuff, and he said, absolutely, and we have a decision to make whether we put him late in ball games next year or start him again, where he was very good, but he's one of those guys that has 2 Tommy John surgeries in his past.
99-mile-an-hour heater, though. That's something he'll run out. The first was at 96. Think of this. In 2011, he went 16-12 before the injury. So now coming back, he had 0 saves prior to this year. And he's had 3 saves and 4 opportunities so far. He's ahead in the count 0-2.
And it's not just the upper 90s fastball. He's got a devastating changeup.
And pretty good chance you may see it here.
Morneau a triple and scored in the 2nd inning. The only Rockies run, a walk and a strikeout as well. Well, he went fastball up, and it's fouled off by Morneau. Here's the changeup, and that's fouled off.
The Arizona bullpen, Hessler, Delgado, who stands to win this game, Hernandez and Reynolds have not given up a hit. They've struck out 4 in the last 2 2/3 innings.
Another good job by Morneau, spoiling a good pitch.
Change up at 84, about 12 miles an hour off the fastball velocity.
Went change up again and missed. 1-2. Morneau leading off. 2-run lead for Arizona. We're in the 9th. LeMahieu on deck. Garneau after that. Rockies have been out at 8-4 this evening. Morneau playing pretty much every day of late. Limited the opportunity for a guy that's had a strong 2nd half, Ben Paulson. Given the opportunity to play when Morneau was on the DL. Walt feels he owes it to Justin to see where he is in his career, see if he could continue his career, and I think he's clearly demonstrated over the last month that he can keep playing and keep playing at a pretty high level. Who wants tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Crowd of 18,529 tonight. And that ball's well hit to left field, really well hit. But Peralta makes the catch. Made some very good plays tonight out in left field. 1 out. Let's take a look at our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Well, we're going to tip our cap to Chad Bettis, his final appearance of the year, and it was a good one. I don't think he had his A fastball, but he located well. And again, in 6 innings, he allowed just 1 earned run. He had some big strikeouts. He had the tying run at third at one point with 1 out, and he struck out Pollock and Goldschmidt back to back. Good way to go into the offseason. The only way, obviously, that would have been better is if he was on the plus side right now. LeMahieu takes ball 1. It's a 7 put out night out in left field for David Peralta. You got more action than he'd get taking infield outfield.
Yeah, exactly right.
Here's the 1-0 to DJ. Boy, man, it's kind of a whippy delivery, George. I remember breaking it down when he was a starter a couple years ago. That doesn't look like a fun AB.
No, it's not, particularly from that right side with that kind of velocity. But those last 3 outs are difficult to go get. Brad Ziegler this year had done an outstanding job. 29 of 31, 66 innings, 45 hits. Opposition hit 190 against him. How about that?
A breakout season for Ziegler.
Well, he's been a very good setup man, but first time given the closers with the failures of Addison Reed, who was moved midway through the year.
Two and 2 on LeMahieu. And he got him on a changeup. 2 outs.
Ben Paulson has come out to hit for Dustin Garneau.
The Rockies have 1 hit since the 4th inning. That was an Arenado single up the middle in the 6th. The only other base runner they've had since the 4th inning was an Arenado walk in the 8th inning.
Ben Paulson this year as a pinch hitter is 6 for 18 with 5 RBIs. He has come up with some ginormous hits for this ball club.
Outside, ball 1.
If you're not sold on Ben Paulson, the job he's done, 19 doubles, 4 triples, 10 home runs, 48 RBIs, all in 319 at bats. Pretty good year.
Very good. The 1-0.
Paulson can get on. Rosario's in the on deck circle.
Softly hit left center field. That's going to drop. So the tying run will come up in Willeen Rosario. Pinch hit, single to left. Keeps the hopes of the Rockies alive.
5th hit for the Rockies in this ball game. Pinch hitting Willeen Rosario, 269, a home run. And that's what you're hoping happens right here. Mike Harkey will go out and have a quick visit on the mound with Daniel Hudson.
And again, this has been the trend, George. They didn't do this in your era, but they revisit a scouting report when a pinch hitter comes up, and the pitching coach almost always comes out nowadays.
Yeah, but here's the thing with me on all of that, and I know I'm old school and this ruffles feathers at times. What is your number 1 pitch? My heater. Throw it. You know what? Why do you want to go to something that's secondary of yours and you make a mistake with it?
Rosario bounces this one to Hudson. He'll run himself to the bag, and that ends the ball game. Arizona wins it 3-1. They've won the first 2 games of this 3-game set. For the second straight night, Randall Delgado out of the bullpen gets the victory for Arizona. He's 8-4. Chad Bettis, though he pitched well, ends up suffering the loss. He finishes the season at 8-6. And for Hudson, it's his 4th save. Again, the final score, Arizona wins it tonight 3-1. They improve to 77 and 81. The Rockies fall to 66 and 92. Stick around. The Toyota postgame show is next with Jenny and Jeff.